Hiya Four. So we're going to move on to our own portraits today, but we're going to do kind of studies of particular parts of our face. So we're going to draw out 4 boxes in a moment and I'll show you how. And then in 2 of the boxes we're going to do each of our eyes, and then we're going to do our nose and our mouth. The aim of today is to really look and observe how our eyes, nose and mouth look, because we have lots of different shapes in our faces and lots of different lines. And we need to make sure that we can copy those accurately to create an accurate portrait. So please follow my steps and stages, and I look forward to seeing your work at the end of the lesson. So here is my layout of my page. I've called it My Features because we're looking at the features of the face. And you can see, if you look at these, they are positioned in where they would be on the face, but we're going to draw them separately to try and really study them. So here we've got 2 eyes. We've got the nose and then we've got the mouth here. Now all of these boxes are the same size, and I will put this on the worksheet. They are 5 centimetres down and 7 centimetres along, with a 2.5 centimetre gap on mine, just so they spread out on the page and we've got enough room to work and really focus on one at a time. Now you can see my nose one, it's still the same size, but it's the other way around. This is because the nose won't fit very well in a rectangular sideways box. It needs to be in a rectangular portrait box, basically, because the nose is long. The eyes are wider, that's why they're in wide boxes, and so is the mouth. What I'll now do is I'll show you how we start drawing out the eyes, and then we'll show you how you add some colour. For this, when you are drawing out your eyes, your nose and your mouth, there are 2 ways you can do it. You can either have a mirror with you and look at the mirror to study what is in your eye, because we're not trying to do cartoons today, or you can take a photograph of yourself and work from the photograph. I find the photograph a bit easier sometimes because you can have the picture right next to you, maybe on a device as you're working on your piece of paper. But if not, a mirror is just as good, because we just want to make sure we're looking at what we see and not just guessing. Okay, so here is my eye I've drawn out. You can see I have gone outside the box with my eyebrow. That's absolutely fine if you want to do that. I think it's quite nice to have the eyebrow with the eye because it looks more real. Now you can see I've done an oval for the eye. I've added in my eyelid up here because I could see that in my photograph. I've added in my eyelashes, and you can see my eyelashes aren't straight, they actually curve out and away from the eye. I've then got my iris, which is the colour part of my eye, the pupil, which is the black bit, and I also have this little dot in here, which is where I had a white dot in my eye from when I took the photograph. So if you have a light reflection in your eye, then please add that in. I'm going to draw everything out first, and I'm going to finish off with colour. I'm also going to add in detail to my title too, so I'll keep showing you the next stages. So you will see here I've just done my other eye, and luckily they look very similar. They won't always be the same, obviously, because our faces grow differently. I'm now going to talk about the nose. Now the nose catches everybody out, basically, because everyone thinks that our noses are triangles, and they are not. We don't have lines down the side of our nose. Our nose sticks out. It's 3D. So that's why we think there are lines on it. Now, I just want to talk through the nose. So you have let's bring it a bit closer. You have the middle of the nose here, which is a curve. You then have, it looks like an ah. You then have 2 almost like curly curve shapes here for the nostrils. You have one that's the right way around here and one that's the wrong way around. And then you finish off the edge of the nose with a bigger curly curve that is the edge of the nose. So it almost looks like a very unusually shaped M, if that helps you with the shape. Now, to just give you a bit more detail while I'm doing this, I'm going to shade in, best I can, shade in my nostrils to show you the shade. The nose really is about the shade, less about the details, because the shade is what makes it look 3D. Okay, there's my nostrils. Then with your nose, I've put some marks here, but this is not on my face. This is where I need to put in some shadow. So what we're going to do, we're going to use our pencil very lightly. You can see I'm using a pen pencil. It's like a pencil that's got looks like a pen, but it's actually got pencil lead in it. I'm going to shade this in here, and then I'm going to take my finger. If you don't want to use your finger, then please use a bit of tissue. But we're now going to smudge this to give the effect of a shadow on the side of our nose. You see that? Okay, and if we add a bit too much shadow, we can just take the rubber, I've got one on the end of my pencil luckily, and we can just rub away some of the shadow to keep the nose nice and white. There we go. Actually, I'm going to take away this part of this line too here, so I'm going to move a bit more shadow. Now the side of my nose also had shadow in my photograph too, so I'm also going to then shade. I'm going to bring the shadow down here slightly. I'm going to shade a bit on my side of my nose here, and down here too. Don't worry too much if your shading is a bit scribbly, because when you smudge it, it should just fade away. There we go. So there's my shadow of my nose, and the shadow of my nose there. There we go. So hopefully you can see, I'm actually just going to neaten this up slightly with my rubber, take away the bits that I think aren't right. Hopefully you can see that that has made that nose look more 3D now. It's definitely not a triangle, which is what we want, and we have got the dark shade of the nose, of the nostril, and we have got the lighter shade of the edge of the nose where it comes out away from the face and creates that shadow. I'm now going to go on to the mouth, and then we'll add some colour. Here's the mouth shape. Now again, we can use kind of letters to help us with these shapes. The top of the lip has this dip in it, and it looks a bit like a long M shape. We then have a line that goes through the centre of the mouth, and a very wide shape again that is the bottom of the mouth. Now your lips might be different to this. I have a big bottom lip. That's how I was born. So I've drawn a bigger bottom lip. You might have a smaller bottom lip, so really try and observe how your mouth looks and try and compare it to the top. So my bottom lip is bigger than my top lip. You can see that's why it goes a bit lower down, and this one is a bit smaller. You've also got in here these lines. Now our lips are made up of skin, but it's all got pigments in it. And how our mouth moves, because the skin moves up and down a lot so when we eat and talk, there's lots of lines in it to help the skin move. So if you can see the lines in your mouth, please do add those in as well. So if I make this go a bit larger now, you can see that this is how my portrait page is coming along. I'm now going to add a bit of black pen to my title so it stands out nicely, and wrap up my pencil guidelines. And then I'll show you how we add the colour. So here is my eye so far. It's not finished, but we're getting there. So I'm going to talk you through a few things. I hope you can see the difference between my one that I've started to colour and the one that hasn't been coloured yet. And I've also done my title. So I've added in the black first. So I've used a sharp black colouring pencil to add in the black eyelashes. I have a very dark black edge to my iris. So I added that in, and I've added in my pupil. And then when I've done my colour, I have overlapped my colours. Now again, a bit like with our portrait artist copy, if you haven't got the right colours, do the best with what you have. So I've overlapped my dark green and my yellow, because I have a very light yellow part at the bottom of my eye. So I've shown that here, and you can see how they overlap. I put in my eyebrow. Now I haven't just coloured it in, I've actually tried to colour in how the hairs grow. Same with the eyelashes, because it looks more real. If you just had a big blocky shape here, it wouldn't look like an eyebrow. And in that one, I've also done two colours. I've done a dark brown and a black, very lightly. And I want to talk about the skin colour, because this is what catches people out now. Everyone has different coloured skin. I have very light skin, so I normally use, which sounds very strange, an orange. But I use the orange really lightly, so I thought I'd just show you on this one. I'm not pressing hard at all, but can you see, as I'm colouring in, it's a very, very light skin colour, okay? Now, if you don't have light skin or you have dark skin, you could use possibly a brown, very lightly. If you have a pinker coloured skin, you might want to use a pink as well. But just be aware, when you're doing skin colour, whatever colour you need to use, it should be nice and light. And you could always test the colour just here before you add it to the box to make sure that you're happy with it. I'm now going to continue adding colour to my other eye, my nose and my mouth, and get this finished. So here is my finished page. I just wanted to talk you through a few things. You can see I've done my eye very similar, but my yellow changed slightly. If I now go into the nose a bit, I did add in a bit of orange and brown very lightly to the shadowing to help my nose stand out a bit more. That's what I saw in my photograph. And then with the mouth here, I feel like I have added in my lips a bit too dark. So if you do the same thing, take a rubber with your colouring pencil and just very, very lightly rub out some of the colour. Oh, it's hard with one hand. I just do it on the bottom part of this lip here to show you. Can you see that it goes ever so slightly lighter? So if that happens to you on anything that you do, you can use a rubber and coloring pencil, it's just not as effective. And if you do get these streaky lines here with your coloring pencil, this is one I've been using, see if you can just go over them slightly, just to hide those gaps. It's okay to go outside the boxes, because the boxes are just there ready to help us fill them with the feature of the face. But try and just go over it lightly, just to hide some of those lines. But I know it's tricky, because you can see I've got lines on mine. And that's what happens when you do colour in lightly with pencil. But I hope you enjoy. Please make sure it looks like you. It should be the same colours, should be similar sizes. And just remember things like the nose should not be a triangle. The eyes are oval and they are not round. And the mouth has got that M top shape to it. Good luck, and I hope to see your work sent through to me on email.